Welcome back to the Team of One podcast. I'm Mo Choice, and in this episode, I spoke to Ilyse Craft about three things: the pull of the corporate world, how they tempt you back, the struggles of being on your own while trying to figure it all out, and the pursuit of joy and freedom, and the importance of self-love. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Peace. Welcome back to the Team of One podcast. Today we are joined by Ilyse Craft. Who are you?
I love that question, and I also hate I hate that question because it sounds like such a simple question. Who are you?
Yeah.
And immediately you want to go to what do you do? When really is who are you, what you do? So who am I? I am a woman who lives in the United States, who really has now devoted my life to living the best version of myself that is ever evolving. And yeah, that's who I am. I'm a woman who's living the best version of myself, and that is ever evolving. And I think that is the most honest version of that answer that I've ever given.
I love it. Spoken like a true master coach. Also, I didn't say, what do you do? Right. I said,
Yeah.
who are you? And yeah, it does seem so simple, but often the simplest things are the hardest to discover or
Yeah.
rediscover. So thank you for doing that. Do you identify as a solopreneur?
I do. Yes, I do now. I do. Yeah. Newly, I lived my life in a career in corporate for 30 years. And there were times along the way where I ventured off and I did something. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, very young in life, and started working very young and then did all sorts of things. I was always doing a thing. Always. I've always been doing a thing when I look back on my life. When I look back on my life, there's always been many things that I've done. I'm really proud of that because it takes a certain sort of someone to be willing to do things. Because I think we all have, maybe not all, but I think most of us have ideas. But it takes a certain sort of someone to actually do the next step, which is to take your idea to some state of fruition and see it through. And that takes a lot of guts because you have to be willing to fail it forward and see where it goes. So I recently, in 2024, I took a consulting job that turned into a position in a company. And I did that for about a year and a half. And I recently went back into my own practice. So I am a solopreneur again. And I have to tell you, I have such newfound gratitude for being in my own business again and being in my own, world. And it feels really refreshing, really, really refreshing.
Good for you. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk, really, to talk about how you got here. Before we get into that, how do you define the term solopreneur for somebody who doesn't know what it means?
Um, you're running your own business, running your own business that actually makes money. I think that's actually an important part because yeah, entrepreneurship implies business, and I believe actually generating an income is an important piece of that. Um, Otherwise, you could be entrepreneurial minded. And I think a lot of people are entrepreneurial minded, but they actually are not generating income. And that's something different.
Very cool. And you switched from solopreneur to entrepreneur there at the end. Is there no distinction for you between the two?
Hmm. Well, solopreneur is when you're doing it on your own. Entrepreneur, I think you could be an entrepreneur and you can have your hands in a lot of different things, but you're not
Mhm.
necessarily doing it by yourself.
Got it.
solopreneur is you're running a business by yourself.
We should call it
And
multipreneur then,
yeah, or
instead of
entrepreneur where you're, I mean, I do have, I run a multi-unit Airbnb business. Now, I don't do that by myself. I have
right,
a housekeeper and I have a handyman and I have,
right.
there's multiple other people that are involved, but it is my own business. I don't have anybody that's on payroll. Um,
I think that's a distinction. Also, no investors.
yeah,
I think also I mean, if I ran a coffee shop, am I an entrepreneur? Like you could say, well, no one on payroll, you can run the coffee shop yourself. Okay, but I got a landlord. I've got a landlord, and the landlord's going to eat before me. Whether I make money or not, I'm paying him or her. Right? So I think there is this line about I'm independent, actually.
yeah,
Now, of course, there's nuances to that. Here's a really cool way of thinking about it. The preneur part is the risk, right?
yeah,
So enterprise risk is entrepreneurship. So the risk is with the enterprise. Like Airbnb, when they formulated the idea, that was a risk because we didn't know if there was a market for that. So the enterprise was risky. Whereas Airbnb-ing a home is not a risky enterprise
correct.
because we know that works. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to work. Like not every business, most businesses fail, but they don't fail because the enterprise is risky. They fail because it wasn't done properly, or it was mismanaged, or underfunded, or whatever it is. But the enterprise isn't risky. So it's like, I'm an entrepreneur. Really, what do? I own a laundromat in my local area. It's like, that's not entrepreneurial. Anyone can do that.
Right. It's a proven
And to your
concept.
It's a proven con. I think that's an important thing. And then the other thing is, the enterprise is the important thing in entrepreneurship, not the person. If it's a good enterprise, lots of people can run it, improve it, grow it. Whereas solopreneur, it's I'm the only important thing in solopreneurship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without me, this solopreneurship journey doesn't happen. And there's no one else to live my life, because it's ultimately about us doing what we want in the way we want to do it.
Yeah.
And no
Yeah.
one can come and do that for you.
Yeah. And the other distinction also is that there could be a lot of proven concepts, but who's actually running that proven concept? Because
Right.
two people can be doing, I don't think entrepreneurship or solopreneurship is for everyone
No,
at all.
definitely.
And I
Definitely.
think that, I think there's a lot of people that are sitting in their corporate jobs, myself included at the time, that, you think, I'm sick of this boss. I hate this job. I'm going to go do this. Then I'm going to be my own boss. It's
Yes.
not for everyone.
No. Here's another thing to think about. This is how I think about it. My path is not proven, right? So, like, the path of a coffee shop is proven. The path of a hairdressing salon is proven. The path is proven. It's like you get customers in and you cut their hair and you put the money in, and the path is clear. But as a solopreneur, I don't know what my path is. Like, I have some ideas, but I don't think it's as clear as an enterprise. It's like, I'm going to coach. I'm going to sell a coaching package. It's like, okay, that's proven. But the way I do it for my customers to be able to make enough money for me, that's not proven.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So obviously it's great, but I think that's a super interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
Why did you go back into solopreneurship, or why did you decide now this is the thing you're going to do?
Well, I think let's just jump back a little bit. Why did I go back into working for a company?
Fair,
Because
fair, yeah.
after 5 years of being on my own, I was burnt. I was like, something, that the idea of like getting a paycheck given to me and benefits, and I kind of like the idea of this. I think this is going to be good. I think this is going to be good. And it was working with a friend, somebody that I knew for a very long time. And I didn't have any old thinking, old ideas of, oh, don't work with friends, that's not a good idea. I didn't have any of that wiring. I was like, this is good. And what I realized is that what I really needed was I needed a break. I needed to take 30, maybe 45 days off and give myself a real reset and just refresh. That's really what I needed. In hindsight, when I really go inward and ask myself, what would have been another alternative that really could have maybe given you what you were really looking for? Because I didn't need a paycheck. I can generate a paycheck way more abundant than the paycheck that I was given. I can create my own benefits, much better benefits. And what I realized is that the way that I show up, my work ethic, that's where the dissonance was, because I was working much harder, much more intensely. I was killing myself inside somebody else's business and then saying to myself, what are you doing? If you're going to work like this in your own business. What, have you lost your mind?
Did you, just to be clear, so were you not working as hard prior to that, or was the work ethic the same?
It wasn't required. I didn't have to work like that in my own business. My business was already set up. It was already functioning. It already had the funnels and the automations, and I had a fully functioning business. Then I went into this new, not new business, but this consulting
New
job,
role.
this
Yeah,
new role, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
they didn't have anything set up. There was no back end. It was a great business that had nothing, no foundation, no structure. So I was going into it, and I'm quite proud of the work that I did, but it was a lot of heavy lifting. And I thought,
So,
oh my God.
so I want to tap into just to be clear. So you said in hindsight, a break is all you needed. What was the belief or the decision you'd made about yourself and your business that had you go back into employment?
That I'm going to have to work harder and longer, and it's just going to require too much of me. And
So you
really,
thought that the role was going to give you more space and time,
yeah, that there's a
and it turned,
team. Yeah, there's a team,
yeah, right,
and
right.
this is going to be easier. And it was like, yeah, there was a team, but they didn't know what to do. And that's why I was hired.
And people are not easier.
People,
People, full stop, are not easier when you have to deal with them. It doesn't matter how great they are.
not easier.
No.
In hindsight is a beautiful thing, and
Yeah.
also being willing to be honest about what was my motivation was, oh, this will be easier. I was looking for what, I was looking for.
A shortcut, maybe we can call it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a really good learning experience for my own, to see some really good things about myself, which was my work ethic and my drive. But I was seeing a lot of old patterns, my old corporate patterns of overperforming, over delivering, picking up all the slack of all the other people. A lot of that old behavior of the what.
What drive what drives that, Ilyse? The
I
wanting to,
think I think it's old childhood wounding. Old. It's real. When that stuff starts to show up, that is a sign of very, very old stuff. And it's almost like you got to catch it early. You have to catch it real early when it starts to show up. I'm grateful that it was a year and a half and it wasn't 5.5 or 10 and
Right,
a half.
right,
To
right, right.
say like, okay, you know what? I'm not in alignment here. This
Mm,
is, I have really taught myself, feel into your life, feel your life. Don't think, if you believe everything you think, that's not a good idea, because thoughts are fleeting and thoughts are not really that reliable. Think about all the crazy things you think, and then you go, don't think that, that's probably off. So feel, tap into how you feel. And the more that I was feeling, this isn't feeling good for me. This
mm.
isn't how I want to feel in my life. At this point in my life, I don't want to feel this way. And I trusted that. And I'm so grateful that I trusted that, because that's not it. That was not it for me. And what I was noticing is that I was really loving the client work. And that was telling me, you know what? Go back to client work.
That's the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is an important for anyone listening. This is an important thing to think about. First of all, I hear it with my clients, at least, where they say, it's too difficult. I'm trying to find an easier, and I go, you're trying to find something easier. I go, so think about what that means and what that's going to have you think about and have you look for. You get it. I talk a lot about people who say they got cheated on a course or by a program that promised them this and that, and it never gave it to them. I go, but what were you looking for when you signed up for the program? You were looking for a quick fix. You were looking for a quick win. You were looking for the easy path. And then you're complaining that it didn't give you the results that you wanted. It's like they're feeding off your desire. They're not conning you because you're looking for something else. They're conning you because you're looking for what they're selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that the prerequisite to finding your true essence, your true role, is to be brutally honest about what it is. And I think you presented that really well just now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you have to be really honest with, what is it that you really want? Get really clear about that. And then beneath that, why?
Right.
Why do you want that? And so, and it's okay, whatever that answer is, like, it's just you and you, like, just you and you sit there for a minute and just be honest about, why do you want that? Like, why do you
Yeah.
want that quick fix? Why do you want that break? Why do you want that, whatever it is? Like, just be really honest about that, because, you know, otherwise you're going to chase something for the wrong reason and then be disappointed. So you're going to get to the same end, which is like disappointed or feel slighted, or, something, it's not going to go well. So you might as well just sit with it for a second and just go, okay, this is why I want that. That clarity is really going to save you. Really.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So how do you know this is the right path for you? How do you know that?
I can feel it every single day that I wake up. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I can feel it when I'm working on something. I feel there's a lightness. The way that I breathe, the way that I eat, the way that I move through my day. I never, and I don't like words like never and always, these like absolute words, but I don't rush. I don't rush. I won't rush, because I spent so much of my life rushing out the door, rushing to a meeting, hurrying up to finish a project. I don't rush. Like, there's this ease in my day. There's time. I schedule things so that there's this like fine wine. Everything's breathing, everything's just sort of breathing. And that feels really good, because I've prioritized how I feel, because I did the flip side of that, which I prioritized how everybody else felt. Is everybody else okay? Because if everybody else is okay, then that's good enough. Not how did I feel?
Yeah, right. And you have to live you have to live these stories to understand them. Really, you have to get the scars. And like you said, it could have been 5 years instead of a year and a half. And I'm sure when I look back at things I wasn't happy about, there's always things that were good about that, and things that I learned,
Yeah.
and habits that I built, and all this kind of stuff, and behaviors and awareness. So I can see that in your story too. What is the next level? What's the thing that you're aiming at next?
One of the things that I really love is, I don't know if this is going to make you laugh or not, but I love spas. I love massage. I love spas. I love. So I want to incorporate that in the work that I do. So I want to do some of the work that I do at beautiful spas. So whether that's being a speaker or a workshop facilitator or meeting one of the programs that I have, it ends with 3 days at a spa. So whether it's with a woman or with a couple, it ends the whole package ends with us meeting. So I've incorporated that in my offers, but I also want to be collaborating with. So I want it to be just part of my work life. So I was like, okay, well then I'll just make it part of my work life because I love it so much. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
And so let's say that you manage to do this, whatever it is, however it manifests. What happens then?
I spend more time living my beautiful life at spas.
Because you're inspired. Really, it's that simple.
Oh yeah, yeah, because I love it so much, and also I get to share that with people that I'm working with, and they get to have that experience also. Because for some of them, it might be something where it's like, yeah, well, that's nice, but I don't really get to do it, or oh, it's been on my list of things to do, but I haven't quite done it, but now I've done it, and they've gotten to have that experience also. So I'm getting to share something that is it's been a part of my life for over 30 years. I mean, I've been doing, I've been going to spas all over the world
Tell
for
me, what is it? What is it about it that makes it so exciting for you?
it's not only is it the body work, the experience of the body work, like, really being in touch with and relaxing on such a deeper level, but it's also like the visual, the audio, every part. It's such an all inclusive experience when you're doing this. And depending on where you go, there's so many different modalities that you get exposed to that open up different parts of your mind and body and heart and soul, and it's just so expansive. So I love that. I love just being moved in different ways, and that's available. And yeah, I love that. And different cultures do different things, and there's different ways to access different parts of yourself that I think is just beautiful.
And if you manage to do that, if you manage to incorporate spa with your work, what happens then? What does it look like in reality?
Uh, I think it's just more joy, more freedom. I mean, I think ultimately that is what we're all here
Looking.
for.
Hmm.
Just yeah, more joy and
So,
more freedom.
so would the counter to that be, if I don't find a way to do this, I won't have the joy and the freedom that I
No,
want? Is that
I have it. I have it no matter what. Yeah, and I feel really strongly about that because I actually just wrote a post about this the other day, and I talk about this quite often. That I think that there's this false idea that if this happens, then I'll have freedom, or then I'll have joy, or then I can have that right now.
fair? Let's challenge that though. I could then you could have just stayed in your last job and said, it doesn't matter that I'm not happy here. I've got joy and freedom.
Well, yes and no, because why would I just accept less than what I
That that's the important thing. So that's kind of what my question was. What if you are getting less than what you want?
Yeah, why would we do that to ourselves? Like
Right,
I have this picture on my desk always. This is little girl me at 6 years old. So
right.
I remind myself all the time that I'm doing everything that I do for her and for 100-year-old me,
Whoever comes up. Yeah, right, right.
right? Why not? Why not?
So, so here's the question. Again, this is really important, I think,
Yeah.
Ilyse. There's a reason you're going to do incorporate the spas. There's a reason you're aiming for something else, because it's going to give you something you don't have now. What if you don't get it?
I will, it's already a part of my life. Like I had a massage yesterday, right? Like it's already a part of my life, but
Right.
this is an aspiration, right? It's like it's at a higher level. So I believe that we're here to grow and expand. It's our human design. We are meant to, it's like nature, right? The trees grow and leaves come and they fall and they come back and they grow and they fall. It's a part of how we're designed. So I'll continue to enjoy massage and different modalities in my life
No matter
as
what.
no matter what. And I'll continue to have an aspiration to have it on a higher level because that's
Got it.
my design. That's
Very clear.
that I'm designing my life.
Very, very clear. What are you most afraid of?
Mm, saying goodbye to my mom one day.
And for your own journey, your own life, what are you most afraid of?
Mm, my own journey in my own life.
Yeah, like what you're trying to achieve for yourself outside of anyone else.
What am I
What are you most
most
afraid?
afraid of?
Hmm.
Gosh, that's such an interesting question. What am I most afraid of? That's so interesting. I guess I I don't really know. What am I most afraid of? Wow, long pause. What am I most I'm asking myself quietly, failing? No. I guess maybe what am I most afraid of? I guess there's a part of me that fears not finding love again, like romantic love. I don't believe that, but maybe there's a part of me that fears that could happen.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
We we talked quite a lot, and this is why I love talking to people that are spiritual and that have gone down the personal development route, coaches mostly, but it could be therapists, because it's a completely different perspective from most other, let's say, paths, right?
Yeah.
Um, but we started with talking about solopreneurship, entrepreneurship. Actually, it was very role driven. How it's not for anyone. How you went alone, and then you felt tired, and you thought, okay, there must be an easier way, and you kind of maybe hoodwinked yourself into finding that path by going back into employment. And I'm sure there were some really interesting aspects of that as well. It wasn't just about making things easier for you, but you realized that you weren't being completely honest with yourself, and that maybe you just needed a little break, and you didn't think about it in the right way. And so you decided to go alone again, and you thought, okay, this I can work less hard for myself and get everything that I want. And we went into that, right? It's this freedom and love, and this idea about I want to design my life how I want to, spas and whatever else you want to do. the way you want to do it so that you can do the work that you want in the best environment that gives you everything that you need, that makes you feel alive and engaged, and how things are light. I think you said, right, there's a lightness and an ease. And you feel it every day, actually, which is the sign that you're on the right path. Um, and then I kind of just pushed you just to think about, well, why is this all important? And actually, I think it was deeper than it seemed. It's because you're connected to everything you're doing. That's how I interpreted it. This is important because it gives me everything I need. And it's the way I can manifest my vision of the world and how I want to live. I think that's amazing, actually. I think it's a lot more profound and deep than it might have seemed through the questions, because it was anchored against bars, but it's way deeper than that. And I think that came across really to me anyway. And then we ended with this idea about, and you talked about romantic love, and there's something about connection and feeling and feeling loved and being able to give out love as well. It's something like that, again, more deeper, and probably we could have gone into that for another 30 minutes if we had the time. But is there anything you want to add to the conversation so that we can close it off in the right way?
That summary is absolutely beautiful. I really, really appreciate you putting up just such a beautiful bow on this conversation. It makes me want to cry. It was really beautiful. Really beautiful.
Well, thank you. Any final thoughts before we go into where people can find you and closing off?
It's interesting. There's this, I don't know, do you know that song Higher Love?
Mm-hmm.
Higher Love.
Of course.
For some reason, I don't know why. It's like it wasn't like my favorite song any time in my life, but for some reason that song has been playing in my head for like the last, I don't know, couple of weeks. And so like when you were just recapping that, I just like it started to play again. It was like, yeah, it's like Higher Love. It's like, yeah, I just keep hearing that. Like I feel like we're in a time in this world where there's a call to higher love for so many of us. And just personally, like just to seek a sense of a higher love for ourselves. And, what opens up, what becomes available if what the first thing is to love yourself really deeply, what opens up then? It's just a really provocative question, I think.
And very profound, I think, too. And thank you for sharing that. Where can people find you, Ilyse Craft?
Ilyse Craft. It's a strange spelling with the I and the L, because the L and the L look like two L's, but it's an I and an L. So Ilyse Craft on all of it. So Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and on YouTube. And I made a really, really wonderful gift for your audience. So I'm really
Amazing.
excited to share this. And I believe you'll have it in the show notes.
We will. Do you want to just tell them why you've made this gift and why they should be interested in it?
Yeah, so I really love making what I call riffs. So they're audio riffs, and it's just like an audio, almost like a podcast, but it's sort of set up like they're just riffs that one goes into the next, goes into the next. So these are called the Reinvention Tapes. So this is wonderful for anyone who's on the precipice of change, that feels like they're sort of contemplating or thinking about a shift or a change in their life. Maybe it's not even that they're thinking about it, but that it's been thrusted upon them through a health challenge or a loss or a job change, or maybe they are thinking about it, and they're called the Reinvention Tapes. And there's 5 episodes, and they just go one into the other, and so they're just audio riffs, and so that is a gift, and it's so it'll be at ilisecraft.com/gifts gift, and so you'll have that link, and yeah, it's really awesome. So I'm excited to share it, and I really just came from my heart and soul, and I have reinvented myself many times in this lifetime already, and I'm sure I'll do it again. So yeah, so I'm excited to share that.
Well, thank you for making that available. I'm looking forward to listening to them. We'll put them in the session notes. Ilyse Craft, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for making the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I've loved it very much.
The difference between surviving and thriving often comes down to a single shift in perspective. Maybe today's conversation sparked something for you, or maybe it confirmed what you already knew. I'm going to keep exploring what it takes to reach the next level. For more solopreneur stories, hit subscribe. And if you know someone who'd be perfect for the team of one, please introduce us on LinkedIn. See you next time. Peace.